Alright, welcome back for another recap of Creative Name Pending. Week 14, last week of the regular season. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, our first matchup of the week. Mo losses, Mo problem, defeats Kiss My Elf 96.16 to 89.26. Boy, if there was ever a time to take down the Mo losses, Mo problems, it was this week. Jalen Hurts dropping 0.4 points. Maybe the only person ever, or quarterback ever, to have 2 fumbles in the same play or 2 turnovers in the same play. Blech. Alvin Kamara, 0. He was out. Mo didn't bother to play anybody in place of him. Quentin Johnston, 2.8 points. Tyler Warren, 3.7 points. The Falcons' defense, 0 points. The heroes here. The heroes for Mo. Jameson Williams, 17.3. And Shedeur Sanders, 39.46 points. What a pickup by Mo losses, Mo problems. Shedeur Sanders just ripping off 350-plus yards, 2 TDs, and a rushing touchdown. Might have been 3 TDs. Boy, oh boy, he was incredible this week, and yet the Browns still got the loss. So, 3 TDs, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Incredible performance by Shedeur this week. And Mo couldn't even crack 100 points, but it didn't matter because Kiss My Elf. Justin Jefferson, 3.1 points. Colts defense, 0 points. Devontae Adams, 6.9 points. Some bright spots here. Aaron Rodgers, 23.46 points. First time he started in this year. Saquon Barkley, 18.2. Jonathan Taylor, 11.4. Jake Ferguson, 10.8. But it doesn't matter. Kiss My Elf ends up losing by about 7 points. And that loss looms large. Alright, we'll get into why in a little bit. Alright, our next matchup. Discount Golf Balls defeats Over the Rhine 138.5 to a league low 56.92 points by Over the Rhine. Yikes. Discount Golf Balls led the way with a very stellar roster here. Matthew Stafford, 29.24 points. Jared Goff, 18.16 points. Kyler Williams, 17.7 points. CeeDee Lamb, 18.1. And Waddle, 18.1 points. And Trey McBride, 10.8. Literally everybody was in double digits except for Quinston Junction, who almost got there, and Evan McPherson, who had 4 points. Really great performance by Discount Golf Balls against a terrible performance by Over the Rhine. Tyrod Taylor, shout out here, negative 1.76 points. I don't think we've had a QB go negative yet this year. Over the Rhine, good job. You got it this year. This week, we had some bright spots. Chase Brown, 18.5 points. And we'll shout out to and the Eagles defense, 11.8 points and 13 points respectively. Everyone else, abysmal. Blake Corum on the bench. That's probably our weekly award for you right now, is the Bench Blunder Award, 26.1 points. Jerry Jeudy had a good game, 16.6 points, and Jalen Warren on the bench, 15.7. Your bench outscored your starting roster by about 17 points. That is a hard thing to do. Over Ryan gets the loss, and his season officially over. Alright, our next matchup. Super Jamario Bros defeats Love If You Sut in My Chase, 116.9 to 101.46. This one was a doozy. Both for Super Jamario Bro and Love If You Sut in My Chase. One was a playoff victor, and the other one is a playoff misser. I don't know. Gotta come up with something better than that. All right, Jacoby Brissett, 23 points for Super Mario Bros. He's been great since Kyler Murray has been stepped out. DK Metcalf, 21.8 points. Dolphins defense, 17. Just a really good performance here. And some nice performances by the bench, too. Rashid Shaheed, 16.7. And even Baker on the bench with only 13, but keep him ready for the playoffs, and we will foreshadow that for a future conversation. Love you sent my chase. RJ Harvey, maybe, just maybe, the best, low-ranked running back to get drafted this year. Got to run the numbers on that, but boy, he put up 22 points this last week. Jordan Love, 25.6 points. Everyone else, though, kind of had a rough one, and that's why you're sitting just above the 100 mark. Travis Etienne, 21.2 points on the bench. Probably couldn't have slotted him in anywhere to make a difference, but you traded for him, but you didn't want to play him. But I guess what are you going to do? You got to play RJ Harvey, you got to play Derrick Henry. There's no flex spot. You're not going to put Jordan Love on the bench. Patrick Mahomes, man, that was a rough one. 6.3 points for Yahomie. And Love is something my chase gets the loss. Okay, our next one. Title Town Cheeseheads loses against Double D's. Double D's scoring 151.44 to 139.7 for the Title Town Cheeseheads. This one was a barn burner. We had some huge numbers on this one. Huge numbers. Lamar Jackson, finally, is he back? Sounds like it. 23.06 points, leading the way for Title Town Cheeseheads. Dak throwing up huge yardages again, 20.44 points. Woody Marks, fantastic day, 15.6 points. Taking him off the waiver wires. I think Maddie dropped him a little bit ago. Bucky Irving's back, 16.16 points. Pittman, 16.9. Brock Bowers, 14.6. Man, this team just went bonkers. Cameron Dickers, 20 points. Tony Pollard on the bench, 28.1. Whew. Yeah, man. But it just wasn't enough against the Double D's, dropping buku points. Bo Nix, 15.98. Jackson Smith-Njigba is back. He led the way. 28.1 points. Tyler Shroud. Ooh-wee. That rookie quarterback right there. 21.26 points. Seahawks defense killing it the past few weeks. 19 points. Maybe the best kicker in the league. Brandon Aubrey, 24 points. Just some really good starting rosters here. Sam Darnold on the bench. 28.26. Didn't want to stack it, but it did matter. He got the win. And there's someone who had a playoff spot. Double D's already locked up and decided to start his whole roster. So, Mo, maybe next year, let's start your whole roster even when you got it locked up. Alright, good job, Double D's. Alright, our next matchup, we got two left. Don't Stop Believin' defeats Sunday Afternoon Loafers, 127.06 to 120.7. This was a huge victory for Don't Stop Believin'. Led the way, Michael Wilson. Who's that? Primary target for Jacoby Brissett on the Arizona Cardinals. Taking over for Marvin Harrison Jr. 37.2 points. Followed closely was Puka Nacua, 35.7. Boy, your receivers did it for you. They were incredible. Caleb Williams, 18.94 points. Javonte Williams, 14.7. Everyone else, we won't even mention them, under 5, except for Chase McLaughlin. Kicker for Tampa, 9 points. And J.J. McCarthy on the bench, 26.42. Kiss my elf, could have used him. Maybe he shouldn't have dropped him. Silly. All right, and then Sunday Afternoon Loafers. Great performance overall here. Jahmyr Gibbs just absolutely killing it again. 3 touchdowns, 37 points. Zay Flowers, 20 points. C.J. Stroud, decent game here, 14.2. But Kirk Cousins throwing up 2.48 points really hurt. And Christian Watson on the bench, man. Maybe that's a bench blunder right there. 24.9 points. He has been insane lately. His last few games, let's see, he's had 20.6, 9.9, 18.3, and 24.9 this last week. You're in the playoffs, buddy. Yeah, we're going to mention it right now. Sunday afternoon loafers in the playoff. Maybe get him off your bench. All right. And our final matchup, and this was the game of the week. And boy, oh boy, did it have repercussions. All right, touchdown townies defeats fancy football 128.32 to 128.14. Whoo-wee. All right, Joe Burrow is back, right? 31.36 points for touchdown townies. Trevor Lawrence, 23.36 points. Devin Neal, New Orleans running back, 15.4. Nico Collins, 16.1. Jacoby Myers, 14.8. I mean, this team balled out this week, and they needed to. The person that didn't need it, fancy football, losing by 2 point. Don't make me do math. Like basically 0.3, 0.2, 0.18. 0.18 is what you lost by. Crazy. Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things, trying to avoid fancy waffles eating football. Fancy footballs eating waffles here. Dropping 43.84 points. DeAndre Swift, 11.2. Kenneth Gainwell, 16.2. A.J. Brown, 16. Hannigan Fannin Jr., Harold Fannigan Jr., 25.08. But Daniel Jones, 0.8. Tearing that ACL. And, boy, oh boy, that's a heartbreaker. T. Higgins on the bench with 27.2. Could have replaced Deebo Samuel there. And then, that's tough. That's a tough one. And fantasy football ends up getting the loss. Okay. Well, right before we jump into our standings, let's look at our free agent ads real quick. Ad of the week. Michael Wilson. Ad of the week. Don't Stop Believing. That was incredible. What a great ad. Absolutely incredible. After he dropped him last week, what the heck? Don't Stop Believing drops him on December 3rd. Adds him on December 5th. If we're going to talk about waffles, waffling on a guy right there. Man, that's crazy. Crazy. And then, yeah, I think that's probably the only one we'll shout out. The Shador ad was pretty good by Mo Losses, Mo Problems. Okay. All right. Let's get into it, boys. Let's get into it. We have our final standings. We have our playoff matchups. We have our winners. We have our losers. Let's run through it. Top dog, number 1. First round bye. Mo Losses, Mo Problems. 11 wins, 3 losses. Locked it up. Double D's. Second seed. First round bye. 10 wins. 4 losses. His points against did creep up. Okay. So he had 1,673 points against. And there were several people who had less than him. So his back half of the season got much harder. Hence his probably 4-game slide there. But he still does enough to squeak by with that second round or second overall and gets the bye. Discount golf balls at 9-5. Finishes 3rd here. And then this was the juicy ones right here. So Sunday afternoon loafers, Titletown Cheeseheads, Super Jamario Bros, all getting into the playoffs at 8-6. That win for Super Mario Bros. Over Love If You Sutton My Chase. huge. Love you sent me the chase. If he would have won, he would have been in. Super Tomorrow Bros would have been out. Yeah, that would have been incredible. And then the other matchup that really shook up the playoffs here was the loss of Kiss My Elf to Mo Losses, no problems. A win and would have been in, would have got in with some tiebreakers, especially with the Love You Set My Chase loss, would have jumped in over Super Mario Bros. But or jumped in over. Oh wait a minute, nope. Oh, he would have. Kiss My Elf still would have been out because Titletown Cheeseheads put up numbers and outscoring in the tiebreaker, 19 points ahead of Kiss My Elf. So, man, that Love You Set My Chase, that loss, that hurts. Kiss My Elf would have been out regardless. But, yeah, tough one. Okay, and now let's get into what we really all want to talk about right now. The Waffle Hunt. Finishing 9th. Touchdown Townies at 5-9. He did just enough these last 2 weeks, going on a 2-game win streak to keep him out of the waffle race. We got Don't Stop Believin' and Over the Rhine at 4 wins and 10 losses. That win for Don't Stop Believin' was absolutely enormous in week 4. And Over the Rhine slipping, didn't get the win, stays at 4 wins, 4 losses. And it brings us to our waffle champion, the syrupy king, fancy football. Going to be eating waffles next season, finishing 3-11. And what's crazy is that loss by 0.18 points, with a simple victory, right? Would have got him to 4-10, and he. Fancy Football outscored Over the Rhine by 106 points throughout the entire season. So, Over the Rhine would have had no shot at not eating waffles if that Fancy Football would have won. But, as it has, and how the waffles have fallen, Fancy Football is our Waffle King. Looking forward to that next season. Okay. We'll look at our playoff matchups real quick. We mentioned we got Mo Losses and Double D's with the first round bye. We've got Titletown Cheeseheads going up against Sunday Afternoon Loafers, our 4 and 5 teams. And then we've got Super Mario Bros. Going up against the Get Discount Golf Balls. We're going to have a good playoff race. First out, Love If You Set My Chase, we knew that, and then Kiss My Elf, finishing 8th there. And we won't even go into the consolation ladder because ESPN does it all super wonky. So, okay, let's look at Watson real quick. Where does Watson think the teams are going to finish? We're going to start with number 6. Super Mario Bros. Supposed to be the first out. That's what Watson's saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's what Watson's saying. Our next one, Titletown Cheeseheads. Supposed to finish 5th. And then we've got Sunday Afternoon Loafers going to finish 4th. We've got Discount Golf Balls finishing 3rd. Double D's finishing 2nd. And Mo Losses, Mo Problems. Supposed to be the champ, according to Watson. Will it come to be? We shall see. Alright, tune in next week for another recap, playoff edition of Creative and Pending Recaps. Okay, good night.